So, any word on your next UFC fight might be?
I've not word yet. Obviously the UFC Dublin card is going to be on October 24th, so I've expressed interest with the UFC that I want to fight on that card. So we haven't got any confirmation yet. They just said it's likely where they'll place me. So fingers crossed for that. Obviously after missing Dublin last year with the Ultimate Fighter, I was really heartbroken with that. So I definitely wouldn't like to miss it again. And I don't want to fight before Dublin because I don't want to get injured or have anything like that happen, and then that'll put me off the Dublin card. A UFC fight in my hometown would be a dream come true.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So, this past weekend, the Irish were out in full force at UFC 189. Just talk about the Irish MMA fans.
The Irish MMA fans are amazing. They're, I think, the best MMA fans on the planet. The amount of time and effort they put into supporting their UFC fighters is fantastic. You know, there was a lot of people who went to a lot of expense to get over to Vegas to support Conor, and then obviously the support that Conor got when he was over there was fanatical. You know, everybody saw the crowds, everybody heard the chants when the guys were fighting. It was absolutely phenomenal.
I've been talking to a lot of UFC guys that were on that card in the last few days, and all they can talk about is the Irish fans. That's pretty impressive.
Definitely, you know, Dana said it himself. You know, after UFC Dublin last year, he said that it was probably one of the best events that the UFC have ever had, as in fan wise. So that's saying a lot. I'm sure he's seen a lot of different competitions, a lot of different shows over the last while, and you know the Irish fans blew it out of the water again.
Are you in Glasgow right now?
No, I'm in Dublin. I don't fly out to Glasgow until tomorrow. Paddy flies out today, obviously, because he has to check in and all that kind of stuff, so I'll be arriving in Glasgow tomorrow.
Well, what's your opinion on this Reebok deal with UFC?
To be honest, I think it could be slightly better. You know, I feel it's particularly unfair to the women, you know, just because we didn't have the opportunity to fight with the UFC. Obviously, it means that we didn't get to rack up a necessary amount of fights under the Zuffa contract. You know, people like myself, we've had over 20 pro fights. Obviously, I would have been fighting in the UFC a long time ago if they had had a division to let me compete in. So I feel it's unfair for me to have to start at square one, having so much experience outside of the UFC, that I have to start at the bottom rung with sponsorship again. You know, obviously I'm going to lose out on money that way. I honestly don't really know as you go up the ladder whether it gets, how much better it gets exactly, or you know, for people who have an exclusive deal with Reebok, how good that deal is. But I feel personally, as a female coming in only now, but not being able to have the opportunity before this, I'm a little bit disappointed with it, definitely.
If you could make a top five for women in the UFC, pound for pound rankings, who would you list in the top five?
Um, well, obviously Ronda is going to have to be up there. Honestly, I don't know after Ronda. I don't think there's anybody who's been really that dominant, you know, winning. Obviously, Joanna is winning a lot, but at the same time, I haven't really seen her jiu-jitsu tested. I haven't really seen what her ground game is like. She has such a good takedown defense. I don't really know. So
Sure.
honestly, I don't know. I think it's very interchangeable. Top five. After that, obviously, I consider myself in there. You know, as far as I'm concerned, I'm the best in the world in my weight class, regardless of who else is there. But I honestly don't know. Especially like I said, the straw weights are a toss up all over the place at the moment. You know, people who are the favourite going in, they're being beaten. I think that division is still sorting itself out. The
Yeah,
135ers, there just seems to be a massive gulf between Ronda and everybody else. I actually don't see anybody in the division being able to challenge her over the next while, even the next fight. Betch Kohei or whatever. I don't really see her being able to do anything to
right.
Ronda. Obviously they're trying to sell the fight well with this bad blood, and Bet said this about Ronda and whatever, so that they're marketing it well. But I honestly don't think she's going to be able to do anything to Ronda at all.
Okay, this past weekend, obviously, Conor won the interim title, but what did you think of the Rory MacDonald Robbie Lawler fight?
That was amazing. I even had to tweet about it. It was such an astonishing fight. It was really a war. and both guys are real warriors, absolutely tough as nails. It was crazy. It was a crazy fight. It was amazing, and even over the last couple of days, I see pictures of Rory MacDonald's face pop up on my news feed, and to be honest, it still shocks me. He really, really just fought till the end. You know what I mean? It was crazy. Definitely one of the best fights ever.
Yeah, and obviously we're from Canada here. People are always joking about Rory MacDonald acting like a serial killer, but if he's a serial killer, that was a pretty good pick.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. I think Rory's just very kind of calm, and he can look a bit stern and stuff sometimes, so I guess he probably does come across as a serial killer. I've only met him once or twice, so I don't know him well. I can't say what he's like in his personal life. Maybe he's really happy-go-lucky and sings in the shower and whatever, I don't know.
This UFC card this weekend, any specific fights you're looking forward to besides Paddy's?
I'm definitely looking forward to see all the Scottish guys. A lot of us fought on Cage Warriors and stuff, so we all kind of came up together. So it'd be nice to see, guys like Stevie Ray do well, and obviously Joe's my friend, so I'd like to see her do well. A little bit disappointing that she doesn't get to punch Beck Rawlings in the face, but at least she has a fight. It's worse to put all that effort into a training camp and then suddenly to have no opponent. So fair play to Courtney for stepping in on short notice. I know she's kind of been bouncing around at 105 pounds lately, so that probably explains why she was able to make the cut 115 so short notice.
Okay, I'm not sure if you've seen this video of Wanderlei Silva, but he was asking the fans if they thought McGregor versus Mendez was a fixed fight. What's your reaction to that?
I didn't watch the video. I did see the post, though. I just completely ignored it. To me, that's just jealousy, jealousy and envy. If you're washed up and you're kind of done with your career and you've fallen out with the UFC, and there's a guy like Conor who's at the pinnacle of his career, doing amazingly well, so popular with the fans, earning a ton of money, obviously you're going to try and explain it to yourself as to why he's doing so well when you couldn't. So I know Conor, and I know that fight wasn't at all fixed. Conor is just that good, and Mendez did just make that mistake, and that's just the way it is. Whatever about the background stuff, I know the UFC are kind of getting more into building up storylines and getting the people more interested, but honestly I don't care what goes on behind the scenes. I don't care if it becomes a WWE style type format, as long as there's bums and seats and we're getting paid. That's the main thing, and the fights are real, and that's the only thing that matters at the end of the day.
Coming up in about a week and a half here, we got a big fight here. Can you give me a prediction? Somebody you're pretty familiar with. We got Miesha Tate versus Jessica Ai. Who do you think will win this fight?
That's actually a good one. I think maybe Miesha will get the win there. I think Miesha might use her wrestling a little bit better. I don't think that'll be an amazingly exciting fight, but I do think Miesha maybe will get the win there. But honestly, I'm not sure. I hadn't really put too much thought into that until you asked the question. If you're not a strawweight or in the same division as somebody on my team, I don't really pinpoint in on you.
Okay, well, I appreciate you taking the time here for us. Anything you'd like to promote or push your social media?
My Twitter is AISYDALY, and that's the same for my Instagram as well. I literally just post funny pictures on Instagram, so if you're looking to cheer yourself up or give yourself a smile, definitely give me a follow on Instagram. And obviously you can follow all things Ash the Bash and all things Irish MMA on my social media too. So come over there and say hi. I'm friendly. I don't bite.
Well, thank you very much for giving us the time. And if you're here in Canada, good night. And if you're over in the UK, good morning.
Oh, we're not the UK, we're Ireland.
Ireland, yes,
the major bone of contention. You can't say that.
Okay.
Anyway, thanks very much for having me. Nice chatting to you.
Yep, thank you. Bye.
Bye, take care.